Greetings, beloved beings, fellow travelers on this planet, and guests from other realms. My name is Izobel Freeman, and I'm going to be doing a general reading for the collective for April 22nd through the 30th, 2018. Hope your new moon in Aries gave you an opportunity to set some beautiful new intentions for the upcoming astrological year. A lot has shifted in the last 2 weeks. Mercury's direct, Saturn is retrograde, Chiron's in Aries, and the Sun is in Taurus. There's so much change at work in the world, and it's not over yet, friends. If you weren't able to join us for the last reading, you may have missed the part where I let everyone know that I need to adjust my reading schedule yet again due to some profound things happening in my own life. Beginning with my next reading, I'm shifting to a once-a-month release schedule. This is so I can still provide guidance for you all and also allow myself the time I need to bring forth some exciting passion projects I've been working on for a very long time. Moving forward, each reading will cover an entire calendar month, so the current reading is a transitional one for the remainder of April. The next reading will come out on May 1st, a Tuesday, and will cover the entire month of May. After that, look for a new reading on the 1st of every month. One other necessary change I'm going to be making concerns the astrological forecast I've been including at the beginning of each reading. Those of you who have watched my earlier readings have seen me try to negotiate how much time and detail goes into these astrological forecasts, and 2 weeks of information is already pretty dense. So trying to do a month's worth of astrology at the beginning of every reading would get very overwhelming. So what I'm going to do instead is to refer you, dear viewers, to 2 of my current favorite astrologers here on YouTube. The first is Levine, first name R-I-C-K, last name Levine, who records a wonderful monthly general astrological forecast on the last Wednesday of every month. So I encourage you all to check out Rick's channel and watch his monthly forecasts so you can continue to have context for the astrological references that invariably come up in my readings. Tarot and astrology work really well hand in hand, so it's good to stay informed on both. The other astrologer I currently recommend on YouTube is Kelley Rosano, first name Kelley, last name Rosano, who does wonderful, upbeat monthly forecasts that are personalized for each zodiac sign. I like to follow both Rick and Kelley because Rick gives a great overall view and is very educational, while Kelley takes a more personal approach. Both are favorites of mine, and I encourage you to watch their forecasts and apply what you learn there to my monthly readings. I'll include links to their channels in the description of this video, and I really hope you enjoy them. Before I get started with this reading, I am going to give you all a final basic astrological forecast so you know what's going on astrologically through the remainder of April. Again, astrology in addition to tarot is really powerful because the guides often give messages regarding the overall energetic climate here on planet Earth, and the cards themselves also have so many astrological correspondences. I do want you all to have context for these, so here we go. Lots of planets were doing very dramatic things over the last 2 weeks, and the rest of April is no different. Today, our deep and transformative friend Pluto stations retrograde. It's also Earth Day, everyone! We spend so much time in astrology paying attention to what the other planets in our solar system are doing that sometimes it's easy to forget we're on one of them. Today is the day we celebrate our beautiful, abundant, and as yet irreplaceable home. If you have the time, it's a great day to get out in nature, to plant a tree, to make a donation to your favorite environmental charity, or to just take a few minutes to go within, get heart-centered, and send love and gratitude to Mother Earth. She definitely deserves it. Pluto stationing retrograde is going to help with that going within part, because the next 5 months are going to be a time for introspection and self-reinvention. Pluto rules issues of power and control. So we're all going to want to take a step back and look at whether or not we're exercising our own personal power in healthy ways. Are we too controlling of people and situations? Or do we give away our power to others? Where in our lives are we clinging to relationships, habits, objects, and circumstances that are not serving our highest good? It's time to purge anything from our lives that is not in alignment with our soul's purpose. So be prepared to detox on multiple levels. How fun or not fun this process is will have a lot to do with how much we're resisting positive change. So do your best to embrace the shift and look forward to the good that is coming as a result. Then, on Tuesday the 24th, lovely Lady Venus leaves earthy and sensual Taurus for quick-witted Gemini. Venus in Gemini is curious, social, and very chatty. New and shiny people, objects, and situations will be top priority, and love may manifest through chance meetings that lead to fun conversations and spontaneous adventures. Just make sure to keep your expectations light and airy, because the one possible downside to this transit is Venus's tendency to lose interest once the next shiny thing crosses her path. Also on Tuesday, we have a pair of harmonious sextiles, one between Mars and Jupiter, and the other between Venus and Chiron. Mars is the planet of personal will, of aggression, and of taking action, and Jupiter cheerfully expands anything he touches. So when these two play nice together, it's time to get down to business doing anything important in your life that may have previously seemed difficult. Jupiter's luck will increase your chances of success, while Mars amplifies your courage, your charisma, and your sex appeal. Business negotiations, competitive sports, and taking initiative are all favored on Tuesday, as long as we're sincerely acting from the heart and steer clear of Mars's shadow side, which could make us pick fights with others if we're feeling feisty. Point Mars's rocket boosters in the right direction, however, and Tuesday promises to be really productive. Venus sextile Chiron may temper Mars's fire a bit, because Venus is all about love, and Chiron is the healer among the planets. Those of you who have been following my readings for a while now know that Chiron is an icy minor planet that orbits the Sun between Saturn and Uranus. Chiron in astrology usually represents our deepest pain, which we've come into this life to transform. Venus and Chiron cooperating means there's a potential for deep healing of relationship challenges that may have felt too scary to approach before now. Chiron shifting from Pisces to Aries may have shaken something loose for some of us, and the sweetness of Venus can help us feel safe enough to finally have the conversations with our loved ones that we really need to have. Then, on Wednesday the 25th, Mercury, now traveling direct, squares Saturn for the third time since March 11th. Any topics from that time that we've now had an opportunity to readdress during Mercury retrograde should now be getting resolved, even if the answers we're getting aren't really the ones we hoped for. When Mercury, the planet of the mind, of communication, and of technology, squares off with Saturn, the planet of rules and expectations, we may have to come to grips with the consequences of our habits of communication. Our internal critics could also get extra loud, and dealing with others might be frustrating and fraught with misunderstandings. So Wednesday could be a great day to just keep to yourself and work diligently on what matters most to you without anyone else around. On a positive note, however, watch for signs in the news of Saturn's consequences finally catching up with anyone who communicates dishonestly or without regard for the impact their words have on others. Then, on Thursday the 26th, we have a powerhouse conjunction between Mars and Pluto. Neither of these planets does anything halfway, so it's going to take self-control and positive focus to keep their shadow sides from manifesting in explosions of fiery aggression or brutal attempts at controlling others. There is tremendous potential for growth and transformation in this aspect, which combines Mars's external and action-oriented fire with Pluto's internal alchemical fire. So focus on whatever phoenix you want to bring forth in your life, and forge yourself anew in this incredible energetic furnace. Let what isn't working burn away, revealing the shiny new future you've always dreamed of. Allow everyone else the freedom and the space to do the same, and you'll gain the maximum benefits of this conjunction without turning to the dark side. We'll get a relative astrological break to process this on Friday and Saturday. Then, on Sunday the 29th, it's the full moon in Scorpio, and the Sun forms a trine with Saturn. Every full moon is an opposition between the Sun and the Moon, meaning they're on opposite sides of the wheel of the zodiac, giving us a chance to balance our outward and inwardly directed energies. This full moon is paying off on themes that were started back on January 31st during the super blue blood moon lunar eclipse. During that event, the moon was conjunct dwarf planet Ceres in Leo. And during this full moon, both the sun in Taurus and the moon in Scorpio are squaring Ceres. This will reactivate the energy of that January 31st lunar eclipse in a big way. So expect lots of divine feminine themes to get played out not only in our individual lives, but also in public on the world stage. Ceres is the largest object in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. In mythology, Ceres is the Roman goddess of agriculture and motherhood, making her energy all about feeding humanity as well as mothering them. So topics like motherhood, children, women's bodies, women's rights, the environment, and health and sustainability when it comes to world food production may be relevant in the news at this time. Meanwhile, the moon is forming a supportive sextile with Saturn, while the sun and Saturn also trine one another. So the planet of rules, consequences, and material progress is smiling on this full moon. Any growth we've experienced both as individuals and as a collective when it comes to the aforementioned topics may be crystallized into 3D reality and made permanent with Saturn's blessing. Moon sextile Saturn enhances our emotional commitments and relationships, while Sun trine Saturn brings us public recognition and achievement of our goals as long as we've been responsible and done the work that it takes to manifest success. In addition to this, any worthy intentions we set during April 15th's new moon should be starting to bear fruit. So be on the lookout for signs of positive change in your life. After that, Monday the 30th is relatively astrologically quiet, and that brings us to the end of April. Again, please check out Rick Levine and Kelley Rosano's forecasts for May, so you can be ready for my first monthly reading on Tuesday, May 1st. Until then, there's a lot going on, so let's get to the cards, shall we? As I do in every reading, I'm going to begin by lighting my little candle for my beautiful spirit kitty Pinky, who was in physical with me until 2015 and was and still is my greatest spiritual teacher. All right, everyone. Wow. I know I've said this for a few readings in a row now, but there's a lot going on. The last couple of weeks have been really crazy. The energy has shifted a lot. Chiron changing signs is a really, really big deal. And Saturn going retrograde too. I don't know if you all have felt this, but it's kind of like sometimes it feels like things are moving in slow motion. Like we all wish that things would just, I said this last time too, that things would just race forward and that change would happen quickly. But it's almost like we're being asked to turn around and double check things. Just go back and say, did we do this right? Did we get this right? And if we didn't, can we get it right this time around? And we're being asked to really be introspective in that way. And with Pluto going retrograde too, you're going to have kind of double that feeling of going inside, turning internal. Remember that Taking Shelter card that we got from the Sacred Traveler deck last time? Where it was kind of the hermiting energy, where we were all going inside to take stock of ourselves and really see if we had done the work. This feels like more of that, and yet Chiron shifting signs, we may start seeing some sort of result from the stuff he's dug up in Pisces, especially with like the Me Too movement that's come out and all the stuff around the divine feminine and making sure that we finally take that other that's been demonized for so long in our history and start to merge that with our sense of self, and that we're no longer looking from such a male normative perspective or a masculine normative perspective. Let's see how that turns out, because as we go forward, especially this full moon being the culmination of not only last time of the new moon on the 15th, but also the energy from that crazy blue blood moon, super something lunar eclipse that was very, very Ceres oriented. A lot of women stuff, a lot of divine feminine rising stuff. And Saturn being involved with this full moon will make it sort of real. We'll start to bring things from out of the airy-fairy spaces of imagination and into 3D reality. So let's see what's going on with that. Very excited for this reading. Again, this is a transitional reading, and I feel that in general, that it's a transitional reading for me to my new schedule, but it's also a transitional reading for all of us. From stuff that we've been holding inside ourselves emotionally and conceptually for so long, and Saturn, that some of that Saturn energy really starting to bring it to Earth and to make it real. So, those of you who are new, welcome. I always like to begin a reading by flipping this beautiful Angel Tarot deck over and seeing what card's on the bottom. All these decks are pre-shuffled before I read. Seeing what card is on the bottom for our overall energy for the reading. All right. 7 of Earth, seeds well planted, a temporary pause in action, unnecessary worry. Well, if this doesn't feel like Saturn retrograde, if this doesn't feel like all the Saturn aspect-y stuff for this full moon, I don't know what does, because this is that card of don't worry if you've done the work and if you've planted seeds wisely, and if you've sown, you're going to reap what you have sown. Is the message of this card. 7 is numerologically this wonderful number of divine fortune, divine luck. Stuff going on behind the scenes. There may look like there's a temporary pause in action, what with Saturn retrograde and now Pluto retrograde. We don't need to worry. The guides are just letting us know we don't need to worry. We don't need to judge where we are. We don't need to start panicking because things aren't on the surface turning out the way we want just yet. The sprouts, the fruit, like I said, for this full moon might just be starting to ripen, or the sprouts might just be starting to show their heads above the earth based on what we have done, based on our good work, based on the development that we've been doing in our hermity stage. And you can see this amazing tree, very wise. This is a very Saturnian or Saturnine figure of like the wise old man of the woods, showing us that if we have done good works in the past, if we've been dedicated, if we've been responsible, if we have done the work that it takes on ourselves to manifest success, that we are going to reap the rewards. And we're going to do it in this wonderful, it's almost like this pause in action to wait for those seeds well planted. It's like I say sometimes, in my previous readings, I've said, when you're working with manifestation, when you're working with magic or with holy light energy, on levels, on vibrational frequencies that are very high above 3D manifested physical reality, sometimes you can't see the chain of causality that's going on behind the scenes. Sometimes you just have to kind of take it on faith that the energy that you've put out, the hard work you've put in, even if you're not seeing something pay off right away, that it's like the fairies of the universe. As Abraham Hicks likes to say, the fairies of the universe are working behind the scenes to bring you whatever energy, whatever intentions you've planted, say during this last new moon. Or frankly, over the last few years, while we've been having like a lot of kind of trials in life, that the last 3 or 4 years astrologically have not been easy. So the guides just want you to know that the stuff that you have been doing, the good work that you've been doing, seeds have been well planted. Now it's up to you to trust that the universe is doing good work behind the scenes, that it's trying to bring you all the things that you deserve, all the things that are worthy of you, all the things that are for your highest good, and that you don't need to worry. You just need to kind of be at peace with the divine timing of how things are working out, because you've got friends in high places. 7 is incredibly, that lucky 7 number. So luck is on your side. Just be patient and wait for your fruit to ripen, wait for your seeds to sprout, and you will see results. It's kind of like that wonderful fixed star where the new moon was last time. That Alperg or Alferg star that has the theme of sustained effort for a worthy ideal, for a worthy cause. Responsible, sincere efforts on your part are going to pay off. And Saturn, in this case, has the same theme going on with 7 of Earth. Beautiful. All right, let's start shuffling for our spread. I'm going to do this in that very loose and sort of mushy, intuitive way that I like to do. The spread, for those of you who are new, the spread that I am going to be laying down is what I call the quick cross. And this is a spread that I personally came up with for my own use, for my own purposes. And the first card in the spread, the position I have named is past into present, or recent past into present. So it looks like there's a card sneaking out. I like to shuffle this way because it lets the cards like this one sneak out sort of their own accord. So I know that I get what I need to when I need to. All right. I am really feeling the portent, frankly, of this Pluto retrograde. I know Saturn is retrograde now, and so we're all starting to kind of have that going inside energy, but I have Pluto at work very strongly in my own astrology chart. And when Pluto starts to do things, especially now the timing for me is really profound. I can really feel it. It's kind of like a big wave under the surface, almost like there's a sea monster down there. You can't see what it's doing, but you know something big is really moving down in the subconscious waters. This second position is present into near future. And I've said before that these two cards in the beginning of the spread are often highly connected because they're connected by the ever-present now moment. In eternity, outside of time and space, there is no time. Outside of time and space, there is no time. It's a timeless state where spirit lives and works. And so in spirit, in heaven, there is only now. And so the more that we can be present in the now moment, our power is always in the now. And so this pivot point is always super important. Sometimes the cards are a choice, like a choice between two things we could be, two probable courses of action or ways that we could be looking at a situation. Or sometimes they do build on each other and just give us more information about the present moment that we find ourselves in. Next part of the spread is a vertical, and the first card in the vertical is mind or higher mind of the collective. Then we're going to do a heart card, and after that, the body subconscious wisdom card. And this gives us sort of a snapshot of where the collective of humanity is at this moment, and maybe what themes or issues that we should be paying attention to. Are going to present themselves for us so that we can do the work. Mind or higher mind. Yeah, I can really feel my own energy sort of having turned internal a little bit. That is a big part of why I'm doing this schedule change as well. I have something, frankly, a big passion project that I have been incubating for quite some time, and it really needs to happen. This one wants to come off the top. So we have a heart card. Let's see if we can get body subconscious. Ooh, looks like we're getting 2 for body subconscious. Sometimes we do get 2 cards. This hasn't happened in a while, but sometimes we do get 2 cards for one position. And it sometimes can be, again, a choice. And sometimes the guides just want us to have more information or clarity about this particular position in the spread. Next card, next position, this one wants to come off, is going to be, excuse me, is going to be what can help us on our journey, whether that be spiritual, mental, emotional, or physical aid. And sometimes this can be a cautionary card, like if there's something in our lives that we're not really paying attention to that we really need to, the guides will also give us that caution. Okay. Next position is what some people like to call the outcome position. I like to call it the most probable direction that we're going to be moving in as a collective, just because we all absolutely are sovereign beings and we're creating our future from moment to moment. So I never like to say anyone can predict the one future, because honestly, there are so many probabilities at any one time that you could choose. Your life changes depending on little micro decisions that you make every single day. If you have something different for breakfast on a given day, it changes the flow of your life. And so there is a general flow or a general, say, weather system pattern that is happening for the collective, but this is mostly so that you can see sort of, again, what the weather might be like out there in the world on the larger human stage, so that you can decide what you're going to do within that pattern. This card just wanted to come off the top, so I'm going to let it. Okay. Just taking a moment to ask the guides, all my beloved dear ones who have passed on, any animal friends like my dear Pinky, and any benevolent entities of light who want to help us with our spread and our process, to come in and help interpret the reading. Wonderful. Okay, past into present. All right. Queen of Air, independent, experienced, realistic, and witty. Objective decision-making, clearing away all that no longer serves you, and seeing the humor in a situation. Yes. Well, we're definitely, this is bringing back some of that King of Air energy that we were having. Remember, we had that sort of disempowered card, the Three of Air, to begin with last time. This is a court card, just like the King of Air. And sexes don't really matter in the tarot. This is why I can feel that same energy from the King of Air being brought forward into this spread. Now, it being the Queen of Air is really fascinating and wonderful because, again, like I said, there's a lot of divine feminine rising going on. And so we've got a lot of, like the feminine side of magic being brought forth into our consciousness recently, and it hasn't been allowed to manifest fully for, frankly, all of recorded history. We've got, anecdotal stories about female figures of power, like, say, Joan of Arc, or say Mother Teresa, or even the Virgin Mary. But especially here in the Judeo-Christian West, all of those female personas have always sort of had to operate under the larger rubric of, say, patriarchy, and in relationship to either a male god or a male power system. And so this, having transformed this energy of the King of Air, which is benevolent and wonderful, and definitely to be celebrated, having transformed for this reading into the Queen of Air is really kind of wonderful, and almost like a little inside joke or a nod that the universe is giving us. That here, the power, that the empowered air card that came to our rescue from the disempowered card has now flipped into its female component. And this will be really important for us to carry forward in the now moment, because we've got to clear away all that no longer serves us. We really do. This is wonderful for also Venus in Gemini, because Venus, the Queen of Heaven, going into the sign of Gemini, a very witty and quick-thinking air sign. Definitely seeing the humor in a situation. Geminis can always find some sort of really fun joke to be found in any situation. And so, yes, this is beautiful. We should all be channeling our inner Queen of Air, especially in the now moment. And hopefully this being in the recent past into now means that some of you are already doing this, already cutting away the things that don't really that don't serve your higher purpose. Taking that bird's eye view, taking the lesson from the King of Air last time, and that Ace of Air that we got at the end of the spread last time. So maybe that Ace, so you can see the unicorn here in the crystal ball, has matured into this Queen of Air energy as well. So yes, her being a court card means that this could be a person. So that King of Air court card persona could have shown up in your life. Again, sexes don't really matter, so this could be a guy or a girl or someone who identifies as neither or both coming into your life to teach you these types of aspects, being independent, experienced, realistic, and witty, and giving you, frankly, the objective decision-making power to clear out all those things. And if that person has not yet entered your life, they will probably be entering your life very, very soon. And when they do, just know that air signs are kind of no nonsense when it comes to things that really just don't work. They're very idealistic. They want the best possible outcome, the most pie in the sky, like super futuristic, sci-fi, utopian outcomes at all times, and they have very high expectations of themselves and others, and so they have very little patience for things that are just unnecessary, especially habits, patterns of thought, patterns of emotional disempowerment, patterns of using old, outmoded psychic software to look at the world, as a lens to look at the world. And they do not pull punches, especially Aquarians are quite famous for this, not pulling punches when it comes to, hey, this could be better, and this is how. So just know that if this person comes into your life and they're a little no nonsense about things, and they're going to tell it like it is, regarding all the things that you do need to let go of, and the things that you're doing, or the things that you may believe, or the baggage that you're dragging around that does not serve you. Just know that it's out of love and that it's all for your highest good. This may also not be a person outside of yourself. This may be aspects of you that are now coming to the fore to show themselves on the surface of your personality in a way that they have not before. So beautiful, very empowering and great, because we need this. We really do. Okay, present into near future. Knight of Water, emotional, romantic, enthusiastic, and contemplative. Falling in love or wedding proposals, the need to balance emotions, an invitation to a social event. Another court card, and this time very much a messenger bringing good news. And also a protector. Knights are definitely very protective, very nurturing. This is again more Venusian energy. This also could be moon in Scorpio, because we've got that full moon in Scorpio energy, bringing forth stuff. Scorpio again is like the deep waters, and you can see below the surface of this illustration here, you've got this wave that the Knight of Water is riding on, and there's this golden goblet, almost like the Holy Grail, hanging out below the surface, and he hasn't found it yet, because he's charging forward bravely over the surface and has not dived down into the depths yet to find this hidden treasure. And this could be reminiscent of Pluto retrograde and all the stuff that you may be digging out of your deep subconscious. Pluto, of course, ruling Scorpio. But yes, moon in Scorpio, deep emotional exploration of what you really need, what your true needs are, and squaring Ceres, definitely still very charged with the divine feminine. Moon herself, a sorceress in her own right, very much about your instinctive feelings. And the Knight of Water bringing this message of the need to balance emotions. You literally could be getting an invitation to a social event, and it looks like you should probably accept that, because again, Venus going into Gemini, social and serendipitous, and who knows what could happen if you keep your expectations light and fun, just like the spirit of this Knight of Water, who is a romantic and enthusiastic person. So this could be, again, someone who is coming into your life. Again, Queen of Air and Knight of Water. Air sign, water sign. So Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, or a Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer. Yeah. I'm really getting this fun sense of fun, and we really need that to lighten up a little bit. Yeah, beautiful. Kind of gonna wait on these two because I want to get more specific about this one, but I feel like we need to see like what the rest of the body is talking about. So yeah, let's do mind or higher mind. 5 of Water, back from a couple of readings ago. Things not turning out the way you'd hoped. Not seeing the positive in a situation and crying over spilled milk. Again, Chiron just came out of Pisces. And so that stuff being dug up and maybe some of us having to really deal with that. Also, Pluto going retrograde might be digging up some stuff that we might not want to look at. Yeah. This is the conscious mind. I can always tell if it's a disempowered card or an empowered card, whether it's higher mind or conscious mind. Conscious mind not having found the treasure yet below the surface. And so many of us are not done going down below the surface, going into the moon in Scorpio depths or the Pluto retrograde or Saturn retrograde, digging up all that stuff, or we're not done having processed all our Chiron pain. So yeah, as you can see in this illustration, there are 2 goblets here. There were once 5, and 3 have fallen over and are absolutely lost, and we should mourn those things. But these 2 here are still standing, and we have a very golden solar looking one and a more shadowy, almost kind of lunar looking one. So this could be that full moon energy that we're looking at. And this could be the awkwardness of that full moon also squaring the Ceres energy, and also Mercury square Saturn, that energy. Remember how I said sometimes Mercury is going to dig up stuff that we really needed to look at during its retrograde, and now that it's drawing conclusions, things may not, that the point or the moral to the story that Mercury has to tell now may not be the one that we wanted. But again, it is for our highest good. We may have to, some of us have to readdress how we're relating. Full moon is also definitely about relationship energy. Not only Ceres, this idea of women and women's rights and how do we relate to our children and how do we relate to the rest of the world, being sovereign for ourselves and our own decisions in our own bodies. But how we relate moon, say, sextile Saturn, in commitments, in committed relationships. So we've got these 2 here, lunar and solar. How do they relate? And the gold is here. What's really amazing about this card, and I know it looks really disempowering, but these goblets have been knocked over, and these 2 are still standing and are almost made more beautiful by the loss that we have survived up until this point. The fact that it's almost like the energy of the clearing away all that no longer serves you. Maybe you didn't want to let go all of that stuff. Maybe it was hard. Remember how I said the funness or not funness of the Pluto retrograde depends on how willing we are to change for our highest good. And sometimes some of us cling to the things that don't serve us tooth and nail. We really have to get dragged screaming into the new way of doing things, into a balanced way of doing things, and let these things go by the wayside. And it's not easy because we see all the could'ves and would'ves and should'ves of stuff. And we want to hang on and grasp things because we're afraid that we won't have what we need if we let all that stuff go. Maybe some of us are still in situations that are not serving us, and we know we need to let them go, but we're still mourning those things. We're still crying over the spilled milk of the letting go of the things that frankly don't serve us. Isn't it funny? We're funny creatures, humans. We can get so turned around and so disconnected from who we really are that we honestly cry over things, over letting go of things that don't serve us. And it's amazing. This 5 of water is pointing to that energy. 5 being not only the most human number, because look, we've got 5 fingers and 5 toes on 4 out of 5, 4 out of our 5 major appendages. We have 5 major appendages. We have a head, 2 arms, and 2 legs. And so we're sort of that star-shaped 5-limbed creature. And so that means 5 is a very deep number of humanity. It's a number of transition. It's a number of, honestly, being halfway through 1 to 10. It's not the new beginning of a 1. It's not the reinvention of a 10 or even the completion of a 9. It's literally being stuck in the middle, like you're on the fence, not being able to make a decision, which is why you can't see the good just yet. Not seeing the positive in a situation. If you're halfway there, stuck between making a decision, and not that this is a decision, this is having it all right here. You've got mind and heart working together. But if you're in a difficult position and you haven't yet let go of those things that you know are not serving you, and you're mourning that, it's a valid place to be. Take the time you need to do that. Just like the 3 of air was saying last time when we needed to go within and heal all of that. Some of us may still be doing that, still processing that Chiron and Pisces pain. But eventually we're going to have to start seeing the beauty that has come out of it, the simplicity, the new balance, the focus that it gives us. And it will be for our highest good, just like Pluto retrograde. So also, this is a water card. So it's about, and it's in the mind position. So it's about the mind overblowing the pain of, again, letting go of those things that we don't need. So the mind's going to run in circles for a while, and it's going to expand the badness of things. And the sooner we can just heal that, say, yes, I hear you, you're valid, and yes, it hurts, and good things are coming anyway. The sooner you can get to the Queen of Air place, where you start to laugh about things and you start to see how maybe it serves you, the better. So let's see what the heart has to say. Knight of Air. Intelligent, decisive, idealistic, and tireless. Events that occur with great speed. Take time to carefully review your options. Creative solutions. All right, so we've got a bunch of court cards just lining up, and they're very empowered. This directional, horizontal. So it's funny. The mind is obsessing over feelings that we should be having, or that we think we should be having about stuff. Mourning, overblowing the mourning. While the heart, it's almost like the heart. And I've said this before, the heart is connected deeply to higher mind. So it's like the heart can hopscotch the frontal brain, the monkey mind that doesn't get it, the one that's short-sighted, and get directly to higher mind, get to this Queen of Air place. And it's like the heart is a better thinker right now. The heart has got it figured out. The heart wants to move forward, charge forward with idealism. Knight of Air, definitely air sign energy of let's move forward with speed and charge into the future with open hearts and bright ideals, and let's make everything sparkle, right? Brave as well, without fear. So yeah, the heart knows that things are going to start happening for you with great speed very soon. But before that happens, you do need to take time to carefully review your options and to make sure that you are getting rid of the things that don't serve you. It's kind of like that 7 of Earth that we got for the overall energy. There's a temporary delay, but after that, there's going to be some sort of rocket that happens, some sort of big boost to your evolution. And this could be brought forward by another air sign person, because this is a court card, coming into your life who connects with you on a deep heart level, who sort of just gets you. And and can help you stay heart-centered and objective and humorous, and to forget about this and move forward with idealism. Who knows, any one of these people could connect to you in that Venus and Gemini way, this falling in love or wedding proposals way. But again, there's that need to balance these emotions. 2 nights, interesting. Lots of air and water so far. So mind, higher mind, and heart. And can we get them all pointed in the right direction? The one that serves us the most. Okay, we did get 2 cards for the body subconscious wisdom. I'm going to actually turn over the one that got drawn first. 3 of fire. Abundance. Things look very good. Have patience at this time. Make long-term plans. Absolutely. You know how I said that possibly someone was going to come into, possibly 3 people, frankly, coming into your life that will understand you. And once you frankly have even one other person, you can see these 2 adventurers here coming together in mutual understanding, even though they're completely different species. If you have even one other person who comes into your life who really gets you, that means you're prepared for anything. That means you can go on a journey, and you can see this volcano in the background. It kind of reminds me of Mount Doom from Lord of the Rings. So you can face any trials that lay before you, no matter what they are, with one true companion who gets you on a heart level. And when that happens, you unlock the creative power of 3. 3 is this wonderful number of divine creativity. Sometimes when somebody comes along who gets you, you are able to create on a level that you never have before, because the 2 of you can combine forces. And this really feels, again, like that Mars conjunct Pluto day, where you have 2 powerhouses of fire, one externally oriented and action oriented, and one internally alchemically oriented, to give you these giant rocket boosters. And it's potentially dangerous, right? Just like this volcano is. Whenever you have a magnification of fiery forces, they can be explosive and dangerous, or they can be directed like a rocket booster to give you extreme speed, these events that occur with great speed. And so perhaps a powerful person coming into your life, perhaps a powerful part of you coming up from the depths as you go into Pluto retrograde and really get to know yourself. And start to peel away the things that don't serve you, the things that have been disempowering you, so you can uncover this reflection of you, or meet another person in a place of extreme honesty and creativity. And when 2 people or 2 consciousnesses come together and cross-pollinate in some way, they can become a 3. They can produce some sort of offspring, some sort of project, some sort of new ideal or modality or a company, or any sort of concept that's going to shift reality in some beautiful way. And this being fire, and this also being at the root level, really, it just talks to me about that Pluto retrograde period that we're all going into, and the tremendous opportunity that we have. And that, again, Mars-Pluto conjunction day that is coming up for us. Really cool. It just goes to show that, again, the heart knows what it's talking about. The root subconscious level on an alchemical base level knows what it's talking about. Let's see what this other card is about at the root level. 10 of water, a contented and rewarding family life. Your emotional and material needs are met. You have trustworthy relationships. This card is the one, the card in the water suite that I always reference when I say, this is having it all. There's I believe it's the 10 of Earth, the sort of sister card in the Earth suite, that is like this, that feels like this. But is this not what we want on a very heart-based level? We want our family, and again, I should preface this with a caveat that it doesn't have to be your blood family. If you're dealing with your Chiron and Pisces remnants of pain and you're still shifting through all of the stuff, that all the wrongs that were done to you as a kid, or the wishes that you had about family or about close relationships that just have not come to fruition, these do not have to be your blood family. They can be any group of people or pair of people that you know in your life. They could be animal friends or other entities, frankly, spirit, your relationship with spirit, this being below the surface and being in this deep Neptunian water, or Plutonic or Plutonian water. You could see it that way, the same way there's a gift, moon in Scorpio style. These people have found the Holy Grails, more than one of them, and they have it all. They really do. And this is the card that I always point to as being the big why. The big thing that we all want. Our emotional and material needs met, and our relationships being trustworthy. Having cut away all the things and all the people, all the circumstances, everything that's extraneous to our highest manifestation of self. And we have this wonderful inner child figure here, who is now looking above the surface into the outside world in this pure spirit of play. It reminds me of dolphins at play in the ocean. Dolphins have no reason why. They're play. They're this pure spirit of play. They're playing all the time, even when they come to interact with us. They look at humans and they go, "Oh, what are you? Can you play too?" And here we are. And this wonderful, seamless integration of two worlds in the body of a child, reminding us to be lighthearted, to remind us to be in this heart center, and to look at things from the position of a childlike being who has it all. It's like the world was made for us, and this is what we attract naturally when we don't let our heads get in the way. 10 being that wonderful number of completion. You know, you have this 5 being, oh, indecision, should I, shouldn't I? What if? And I'm halfway there and I judge where I am kind of energy. And the 10 being completely fulfilled to the point where we have reinvented ourselves. 10 numerologically is a 1-0, and it collapses numerologically to a 1. It reduces. And so 10 is the beginning, or the end and the beginning at once. The forever now of being in love, in the state of love. This is beautiful because we have both a heart-based water and a spirit-based fire down here at the root level. This is telling us that our bodies are really the place to be looking for the wisdom that we need to get over this at the moment. If you're stuck in indecision, or if you can't get over something, if you're dragging baggage into the present moment that really should better be left in the past, being in your body, getting in touch with the root level. Also, this being at the root level means you need to touch the planet more. All of us do. It's Earth Day, it's Pluto retrograde, and Earth Day at the same time. My goodness, there's never been a better day to get out there and touch the planet, right? Touch the planet, feel the deep wisdom, feel the support. Even if you don't have even one other person who gets you, if you put your hand on a tree or on the ground where it's green and growing and you feel the love of the planet, here you are with one other giant collective entity who gets you. And here you are simultaneously at home with your mother, with the first mother any of us ever had, because she was the original archetypal Earth Mother. This is going home on a very deep level. So again, if any of you can get out there, touch the planet, sit under a tree, take deep breaths of beautiful, clean air, meditate, Go inside and maybe ask your guides what you should be focusing on during Pluto retrograde. Your body really knows, and it will answer. And so will the deep depths of your inner being. And the heart knows. The heart's not afraid to go to those places. It charges ahead with courage. You've got all this help. Just get out of the monkey mind. Gorgeous. Very much support here. Sorry about this glare, but I kind of want these cards to be... I mean, there's one here. Oh, that's even worse. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it here. Hopefully you could see the text for the Three of Fire, the abundance. These things look very good. Have patience at this time and make long-term plans. All right. Because this is what you're going for. The patience and the not panicking, just like that Seven of Earth was talking about. If we just don't panic, we touch the planet, we go within with courage and idealism. This is that good, that good that I was talking about in the astrology section, the good that is coming. Just look forward to that, the fulfillment. Whether or not it's with your blood relations, whether it's with a community or a group of people or a group of entities. Say you spend all your time with animals or with trees, that's still a family. Or with spirit. Definitely. Or with the planet itself. It's collective consciousness. You're never really alone. Alone is an illusion that our mind is designed to spin for us. Our mind, a lot of people don't understand the actual purpose of the conscious mind. We talk about the dangers of being in the ego a lot, especially those of us in quote unquote spiritual circles talk about, oh, you can't be in the ego. Don't be in the conscious mind, the monkey mind, the critic mind. And we forget that the critic or the monkey mind or the conscious mind is designed to make us feel separate from others, is designed to isolate us. If it were not designed that way, we would all just merge back into spirit, into the cosmic ocean. We would never have an individual identity. It wouldn't be me and you. It would be us in the collective all the time. And that's great. That's the way it is in heaven. In the highest levels of heaven, we're all merged and we're all one and we can all feel each other and everyone is you, basically. And it's hard for our individual monkey minds, our 3D space-time minds, to get our brains literally around that concept because one's infinite and one is limited. And the limitation has its benefits. We would not be able to be here having a 3D physical individual experience without this limiting mind that sometimes can give us anxiety and sometimes can make us feel lonely and feel like that we're not supported by the universe or not loved by God, Goddess, Source. The mind is designed to separate us. And so we need to appreciate the fact that it is the thing that makes it possible for us to be individuals and to glorify all of our differences and to achieve our individual goals that we really, really want, and to have relationships at all. If we weren't separate, we couldn't relate to each other. And so that's what's beautiful about the conscious mind. And maybe if we stop for a moment to thank it, to say, hey, thank you, conscious mind, for being my individual, diving mask that allows me to come down into 3D space-time reality where it's very dense and the energy is very slow and sometimes dark and painful. But the mind allows us to come down here and play this game. And that can be good if you want to think about it that way. It all depends on how you want to think about things. And guides just wanted to let you know you have that power. You have the power not to be disempowered. And to appreciate the mind. Just say, thank you for doing your job. We're not crying over spilled milk anymore. Ah, that was good. All right. What can help us? Since we just got all that interesting help, what can help us on our journey? Cards going everywhere. Ah, the King of Earth. Saturn energy. Generous, professional, responsible, and practical. A successful time. Confidently accept opportunities that you're offered. You have the Midas touch. This is Saturn in Capricorn. Saturn having just gone retrograde to make us go back, retrace our steps, do it right this time, make sure the foundation is solid so that we can have everything, so that we can have it all, so that we can move forward quickly and not have the road fall apart underneath our wheels, right? This is always a very Capricorn figure to me. Saturn in Capricorn along with Mars conjunct Pluto. There's so much Capricorn energy right now during this month. And Saturn being in harmonious relationships with both the sun and the moon gives us this we can have it all feeling. Saturn sometimes, again, I've said this before, gets a bad rap in astrology. Saturn is considered the not so fun planet, the punisher, the punishing planet, the stern taskmaster that's just no fun at all. But Saturn can also, I said this last time, Saturn can also be the amazing teacher who makes you a master. He is the wise old wizard or the martial arts master or the combination of the two in say like a Star Wars. You've got the Obi-Wan Kenobi figure who won't let you fake your way through things and makes you really learn and become a hero. But you become a master because of all their trials and all of their judgment and all of their making you do it right or go back and do it again. This being a court card, again, wow, we've got this line of court cards building a horizontal here. First Earth card on the board, other than our overall 7 of Earth, which is highly connected to this. Saturn letting you know that you're doing good work and he's helping us, not hurting, not punishing. It might not feel very fun right now, especially those of us who are Capricorn rising or Capricorn sun sign. You may feel like a bulldozer is plowing over your entire identity right now because Saturn went into Capricorn at winter solstice and is now turning retrograde, or has now turned retrograde and is going to go all the way back to almost the beginning of Capricorn just to make sure we got it right this time. But it's going to make us so strong. It's almost like the pressure that creates diamonds. Super high pressure creates the most precious outcomes. King of Earth may be an Earth sign coming into your life. Yeah. Those Capricorn, Taurus, Virgos coming into your life to teach you how to be responsible and practical so that you can be generous later on. Why do we want abundance? So we can give it away. The highest expression of manifesting earthly gifts and earthly abundance is so you can give it away to causes that you love. It's Earth Day today, folks. Earth Day. Donate to a charity that takes care of the planet. Go plant a tree in someone's name whom you love. Or in your own name, if you feel like being the king of Earth. This is an abundant time. It's beautiful. The sun's in Taurus, another Earth sign. Beautiful golden solar energy, making all the flowers bloom and all the plants start to sprout. Everything flourishes. And this is about money. This is about learning to be friends with abundance. And don't we all want that? I mean, your emotional and material needs are met? Absolutely. And if King of Earth is coming into your life, definitely listen to what they have to say. And if you're having your own Saturn retrograde or your own Saturn and Capricorn experience, listen to what that wise master has to say, because it's going to pay off literally in a very real eat it, taste it, touch it, smell it, spend it way. Wonderful. And this could be aspects of yourself also coming up, especially those of you who are experiencing the sun in your sign, say Taurians, or Saturn in your sign if you're a Capricorn. Beautiful. Okay, outcome position. The High Priestess, everyone. Archangel Haniel, listen to your intuition, have patience, consider carefully what you want before acting. Listen to all these cards telling us to have patience. Have patience at this time. Take time to carefully review your options. You need to make objective decisions and clear away all that no longer serves you. A temporary standstill or a temporary pause in action, just like the Seven of Earth told us. This is Saturn retrograde, Pluto retrograde energy. Go back and get it right. And the outcome here, especially for the end of April, is definitely High Priestess energy, Queen of Air, Divine Feminine Rising energy, highly connected to both Moon in Scorpio. Ooh, High Priestess definitely like occult woman in hidden magical areas that are slightly forbidden. I don't know if you can see it, but she's got this sort of snake-like, it looks like a serpent hanging off one hand here. And she's got this book of forbidden knowledge, or you could call it the book of life, or a book of spells in the other hand. I really love it that I chose to wear my little snake ring today. So we've got synchronicities happening. Haniel is the archangel that helps you dig up that intuition. If you're out of practice, and honestly, if you identify as male or masculine, chances are that you are out of practice accessing this part of yourself, because it's frowned upon in Western, frankly, in most of the world. Most of the world does not value this type of intuition, this type of going down into your gut, hearing the wisdom of your body, hearing the wisdom of planet Earth, our other high priestess in play today. Going to that scorpionic place, those hidden places that where the Kundalini, the serpent of the Kundalini lives, or the energy of the Shakti. This is going into that sacred holy grail place of the womb space, the deep dark Kali or great mother goddess energy, where the end is also the beginning, just like this Ten of Water. Or just like the wheel that we got last time, where you have a perpetual motion machine of the Ouroboros, the serpent eating its own tail. So yes, this is where that eternal devouring creation energy lives. This is a plutonic place. So this is the place that we need to go if we're going to further our soul's journey, and if we're going to get out from under this focusing on things that we don't need to, and not allowing ourselves to let go so that we can become more. We need to go into the hidden places. Haniel is that archangel that helps you do that. So if you can, go into your Pluto retrograde cave, go into your Saturn retrograde wizard's hermit, the hut in the middle of in the forest, and get in touch with this side of you. Listen to the planet. She can teach you a lot. Listen to the divine feminine within you. Even if you've never talked to her before, even if you're totally out of practice, go inside and ask her. Say, divine feminine within me, what do I need to know for my soul's purpose to evolve, for my greater growth at this time? And just be quiet and listen. 2, number of either balance, just like the sun and the moon at this full moon, or duality, a reflection, possibly just like these 2 goblets here, solar and lunar, balancing those 2 energies. 2 can also be a number of partnership, of relationship. Those of you in relationships may find yourself readdressing how you relate, and whether your relationship is balanced, whether it's working for you. This is really wonderful energy to have at the end of the spread, because it's letting us know that we have this available to us, that we don't have to be lost in the confusion that seems to be gripping us right now. I know a lot of us, you see it a lot in the news recently, of people complaining of, say, brain haze. It's like a brain fog, or feeling overwhelmed or anxious. There's a lot of just feelings that things are moving too fast, things are changing too fast, there's too much chaos in the world, and we all just kind of want to hide in a cocoon or just, again, not leave the house. And going into our deep root level, making friends with your subconscious, learning to hear that quiet voice of your spirit, of your intuition, can really help sort through the fractured energy that is going on out there that's so prevalent. Again, have patience, consider carefully what you want before acting. Take time to carefully review your options. It's, objective decision making. They're really wanting us to go inside. To go inside, hear the divine feminine intuition, go to the Pluto place. Ceres being involved also, it's like the, the Ceres, Persephone, or the Proserpina myth, the maiden who is abducted by Pluto and taken into the underworld where she becomes a queen. And the mother who grieves, who cries over the spilled milk because things have shifted forever. And trying to find a new balance when that happens. Whenever Pluto touches our lives, sometimes things can just dissolve in ways that we really were not looking forward to. And his are hard lessons. His are the lessons of life and death, and the lessons of time. Saturn also brings time lessons, but Pluto really is about decay and the undermining of things that we used to believe supported us and the rules. Very much, the Pluto in Capricorn. He's been plowing through Capricorn for a long time, and we've seen the disillusion of power structures and the fact that just big governmental structures that we thought were just going to be there forever and be sustainable are just revealing themselves not to be. People in power toppling right and left. This is very Pluto and Capricorn theme. So we're all on one level or another in this place where the mind is reeling and we're feeling overwhelmed. But look at this beautiful, empowered trajectory we're on. It's like we're evolving and we're going to become this empowered, balanced creature. We're going to balance our divine feminine or empower our divine feminine. And this will bring us out of darkness and into our place in the world as royalty or as a spiritual powerhouse. This is our first major arcana on the board. The culmination of this spread. The stuff, the temporary standstills, the development, the going back and really studying ourselves and really doing the hard work it takes to let go of this and to redefine these things is going to turn us into something magical and new. Wow. This is incredibly profound stuff. Hopefully you can feel this at work in your own life. You got a little pop of fun with Venus and Gemini and possible love and romance. But again, there's that caveat in there, the need to balance emotions. So yeah, take that social event invitation, but realize that this could be recess in the midst of doing the work. But you're so supported. So many people and so many, or so much spirit or so many aspects of you coming online to turn you into something amazing and powerful. And the body knows. So listen to the body, listen to Mother Earth, listen to the heart, stay out of the monkey mind, tell it you love it and you appreciate it for being your little diving mask so you can come down here into dense 3D reality and play around. But tell it can take a nap during this next Pluto retrograde, Saturn retrograde period that you're going to be really immersed in for a while. Gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. Okay. Whew. It's deep. It's viscous. The energy feels really thick and challenging, but interspersed here, there's amazing, encouraging aspects And this all culminating in this beautiful divine feminine high priestess energy. It's so meaningful for me because this full moon that's coming up for us, depending on when you're watching this reading, is a special one for me. My greatest teacher, my divine feminine partner in crime, my little familiar, Pinky, she passed in April. And I don't know if you know it, some of you do know, but the full moon in April is always called traditionally the pink moon. And so, especially last year, there was a really big connection that I got to have with Pinky on the pink moon. And the full moon coming up is also called the pink moon, highly charged with springtime, new beginning energies. The moon itself won't be pink. It's called the pink moon because a certain type of flower called, I think it's pink ground phlox in North America here, starts to bloom around the time of the April full moon. And so you have this unconditional, rose quartz infused, pink moon loving, divine feminine energy with a theme of Ceres, with a theme of the moon in Scorpio, all paying off with this divine feminine pop of energy we got at the lunar eclipse in January, culminating in bringing forth our high priestess nature. And my relationship with Pinky, very, very special. She taught me so much about unconditional love. For those of you who don't know, she also walked with me in lucid dreams, taught me lots of things. She and I would have dream adventures a lot, even when she was still here in physical. And so having all of this energy coming forth and manifest out in the wider world, the special relationship that I have with a divine feminine entity who isn't even human, at least this go round, my partner in crime in spirit, it's just incredibly special relationship, and one that has no analog in my human relationships. And so this full moon culminating with more of that wonderful divine feminine nurturing unconditional love energy going out into the planet and hopefully touching all of you, it's incredibly personally meaningful for me, and I'm looking forward to the pink moon. Because also the crankiest planet of them all, Saturn, is letting us know we're getting ours at the same time. How wonderful is that? Okay, let me do some shortcuts. Let's do the goddess deck for all of the divine feminine stuff that's coming forward. For those of you who haven't seen my shortcut process before, it's a quick and dirty 3-card spread that I do. I invented this process for myself when I wanted to do a quick read. And the first part of that process is just to flip the deck. Una. Easy does it. There is no need to hurry or force things to happen. Everything is occurring in perfect timing. Absolutely. Be patient. Have patience at this time. Have patience. Don't worry about the temporary standstill because we all have to go inside and do some work. We're getting our stuff. We're becoming masters. We're turning into the high priestess. All of us inside in some beautiful evolutionary way. But it's a natural process. Again, like the Pluto energy that I was talking about that a lot of people don't want to face because it's highly connected to the cycles of life and death, and nobody really wants to think about the death process or the process of things aging and decaying or outliving their usefulness in our lives, or the process of metamorphosis, our transformation into something new that sometimes is not such a fun process. Yeah, don't worry, it's natural. It's meant to happen, all these changes in your life. Whether you're impatient for them to happen overnight like the Knight of Air, or whether you're going slow and steady wins the race like the Seven of Earth, or like all these other cards telling us to be patient and to think things through, there's really no need to hurry or force anything. You are going through a natural evolution. Look at this beautiful divine feminine with the dove of peace and the moon. You can see, like, hopefully you can see this little crescent of the moon here, very lunar energy, and this rainbow, meaning all the chakras aligned and energized and clear. All of your power focused in the now, and all of your rockets pointing in the same direction so that you can move fast when you want to. Beautiful. Okay, cut. Ostara, fertility. It is the perfect time for you to start new projects, access new ideas, and give birth to new conditions. Absolutely, we recently had our first new moon after the spring equinox, and Ostara, and that Easter energy that came in. This wonderful idea that the intentions that we made or are still making at this time during spring have this amazing potential to pay off in very real, satisfying, and earthly ways. But it's all about giving birth to new conditions. And in order to do that, we must change ourselves. In order to change anything in our outside circumstance, in our lives, we must go within to change ourselves. And that's what going within to that womb place, that sacral chakra area, this creativity that we all have, this divine feminine aspect that all of us have, no matter how we identify sexually on the outside. Go in there, connect with your divine creativity. It's the perfect time to start. Gorgeous. Aphrodite, inner goddess, awaken the goddess within you through dance, self-care, and appreciating your divinity. The goddess of love, this is again Venus and Gemini. Venus in Gemini loves to go out and dance. It's a fun, bubbly way of connecting with others. And with the sun in Taurus, Taurus is very sensual and loves to be in a 3D space-time experience. Taurus loves to be in the body. So you've got Sun in Taurus, you've got Venus in Gemini. Perfect time, maybe an invitation to a social event where you go dancing and appreciate your inner goddess. That self-care still with us from a couple of readings where we really needed to remember that 10 of fire that we were getting that said that things were out of balance. It looks like some of us are really starting to bring things into balance and to care about ourselves enough to take that rest and recuperation. Some of us are still dealing with processing pain and loss and regret. But continue self-care. Try to get out and have a little fun with Venus and Gemini. And appreciate your own divinity with the High Priestess. Beautiful. Perfect. Have some fun, dance with the universe, love yourself, nurture your projects, it's the perfect time, and don't be too impatient because everything's happening in divine timing. And it's gonna pay off. Beautiful. Okay, we've got not only goddess energy with this full moon, but we also have the King of Earth, Saturn himself, saying that things are going to pay off, and the Seven of Earth. So I'm going to do the Abundance Angels deck. So funny, these were the top 2 decks that I decided to put out for this reading, and yeah, intuition is good today. Great. So Abundance Angels, beautiful. One more shortcut. Abundance mindset. If you think of your abundance as something that happens in the future, then it will always be one day away from you. See, feel, think, and speak of abundance as something you already have in the present moment, and that is what you will experience. This is absolutely what I was saying earlier, that all of our power is in the present moment. The way that we connect to our divine God or goddess self, our high priestess nature, is to be present in the moment and to be, if you go out in nature, if you do that Pluto retrograde or Saturn retrograde work internally, and you find yourself meditating in a beautiful place, or frankly, even if you have one door in the house you can shut for just a few minutes, at minimum, give yourself that and go inside and imagine those things you want, that Midas touch that you know is coming, the good fortune that you're wishing for, the changes you wish to see in your external experience. Imagine those things having already happened. I like to tell people, imagine yourself so happy that you're walking down the street high-fiving everybody you see because that thing you wanted just happened. And feel the feeling of that. The longer you can hold on to the elation, the fun, the feeling of falling in love, the feeling of having that thing, of holding it, tasting it, touching it, smelling it. Yeah. See yourself, see what you're wearing, feel the air that day. What's the weather like? Paint as real a picture for yourself as you can and hold that feeling, because that's the feeling that will magnetize your abundance and bring all of the things that you want to you. You can't stay in this down in the dumps place and expect to attract fulfillment. The two frequencies, Abraham Hicks will talk about this a lot, the two frequencies, like different radio frequencies, do not match up. It's almost like you're going to pass each other like two ships in the night because you're not lined up. I've heard another metaphor. I think it was the Wendy Kennedy with the Ninth Dimensional Pleiadian Collective, who was talking about the fact that if you put in your order for something beautiful that you really, really love, and imagine that your emotional level is like what floor you are on in a building. If you place your order at happiness or at anticipation or excitement, it's almost like you're on a really high floor of the building. And if you place that order for the thing that you want and you say, in universe, I set the intention to have X, Y, or Z, whatever it is that will make me happy, and I'm feeling really happy about it. It's almost like you're on this top floor of the building. And then later on, something bugs you, or you start to think about something that makes you upset or anxious, or you start to have doubts. They say it's like you drop a few floors to a lower floor on the building. In the building, you've dropped emotionally to another floor. And then what happens? The delivery guy, the guy with the Midas touch, comes to deliver your stuff up at happiness, up at excitement, up at anticipation, and you're not home. You're down in worry or in doubt or in self-criticism. You're down here. And you miss your package delivery. And the universe and the guides want me to tell you that don't worry, your package they'll keep trying. It's not like, UPS and they only try a couple times and then they give up. The universe will keep trying to deliver that package, but you've got to be home. You've got to be on that top floor of excitement, of anticipation. So the longer you can stay in this feeling of having it now, you magnetize yourself, the more time in your day that you can spend on that happy level, on that floor of the building, the more things like this will start to manifest in your life, and the less things you will have to cry about, to cry over spilled milk about. Got to start putting yourself on the right floor emotionally. This is 4D, 5D, unseen, stupid luck, those non-physical chains of causality that people don't see in physical reality. And then people will look in from the outside and go, how did you get that? How did that happen to you? They don't know. You put the request in on the top floor and then you stayed there emotionally until your package came. Beautiful. Abundance mindset. Cut. Obstacles and blocks are lifted. All your good personal work and your positive energy shift have overcome previous obstacles and blocks. Previous obstacles and blocks are lifted away. You will now experience progress and forward movement with your projects. Stay centered in gratitude to ensure that your flow of abundance continues. Right? Stay centered in gratitude. Stay on the floor emotionally that you put your order in on. You will now experience progress and forward movement. Look at the similarity between this amazing archangel. I think this is probably Michael in this illustration, and this Knight of Air. events that occur with great speed. You can see the sword that cuts through obstacles and the determination and the bravery. Beautiful. But this is also the message of the Seven of Earth. All your seeds have been well planted. Your personal work and positive energy are overcoming things. This is Saturn and Capricorn blessing the full moon, letting you know that your stuff is on its way. Your package has been mailed and you just have to stay in positivity. This is a great message, frankly, for me. I will now experience progress and forward movement with my projects, those passion projects that I've been talking about, that I've been working on for so long, and I'm ready to see them manifest in a real King of Earth way. Gorgeous. Stay in gratitude as if the thing is already here. Beautiful. All right. God is your source. Everything you need is supplied by the infinite source of God, and your faith opens the doorway to receive. In God, there is no lack or limitation. Rather, there is plenty of abundance for all to share. And, when they say God in these cards, you can say God, God is source. You can say whatever higher power that you believe in. But yes, everything you need is supplied by the infinite source. You are supported in ways that you can't see. Look at these amazing court cards and major arcana coming in. Look at Saturn, again, the crankiest planet there is, saying yes to us this full moon. All the stuff that we've been doing, all the effort that we've been putting in, about to pay off in both beautiful emotional and material ways. There's no lack or limitation. There's plenty of abundance for all to share. Gorgeous. We're all in this together. Beautiful. There's no lack. You're an infinite being. There's an infinite well of great stuff from which to draw your experience. The obstacles and blocks are being lifted away. Just stay in gratitude, stay on the floor from which you put your order in, and have an abundance mindset for yourself. You deserve to have emotional and material needs met. You deserve trustworthy relationships. You deserve to have things work for you because you are a divine child of the universe. You no longer need to do anything to deserve your stuff. You just need to stay grateful and in excitement and anticipation so that you can be at the right address when this package is delivered. Gorgeous. All right. Any of my fellow tarot readers out there who would like to use my quick cross spread, I know it doesn't look like a cross anymore, but quick cross spread and my shortcut process, you are more than welcome to do so, as long as you attribute these spreads to me. I just need credit for them, and you can link to my website. Just say my name, Izobel Freeman. I invented these spreads, and link to my website, www.shinyallthetime.com. And you can find all the required attribution information at shinyallthetime.com/CC. And CC stands for Creative Commons license. And that is how I've made all these spreads available to you for your use, as long as they're attributed correctly. Okay. Oh, also, if any of you would like to acquire any of these gorgeous decks that I've been using for your own use, just to play with and open up your own intuition, I do have a resources page at shinyallthetime.com. It's shinyallthetime.com/resources. And if you go there and you buy a deck through my page, just full disclosure, I do get a little affiliate percentage of your purchase price back, and it helps me, say, maintain my website. Honestly, I don't really get very much from it, but it helps me do basic things like maintain my website and continue to make videos for you. Also, the price doesn't change. You don't pay any more if you buy through my resources page. So it is just your way to possibly support my work if you like what you see here and you're getting value out of it. And if you do purchase a deck through my page, I thank you in advance. Okay, gonna do our Angel Answers card. Peaceful resolution, everyone. Look at this. It's going to be worth it. All of these anxieties and fears and things that are swirling around like it's like the mind running on a hamster wheel, just all of our worries and our self-doubt and, frankly, the unnecessary opposition between divine masculine and divine feminine that's been at work in the world for so many years. Like I said, frankly, all of recorded history. Peaceful resolution. There can be this as long as we balance. Look at the similarities of these two images. Allow the divine feminine creative force to come up within you and possibly inspire some sort of beautiful change that you want to have happen in the world. You know that phrase, be the change you want to see in the world? It's real. You have to feel the thing having happened. You have to feel the peace in your heart and the love of the planet and the support you have from spirit and source. And the amazing eternal wellspring of divine creativity and abundance that is flowing to you, which you don't have to do anything to deserve. That just feels like peace anyway. Peace in the heart. This great sigh of relief that we all get to draw. This big deep breath, this letting go of the needing to justify and the need to hang on to all of our options because we're afraid of scarcity and afraid of things going away, even the things that don't serve us. We're so afraid. And wouldn't this be wonderful? So yeah, focus on this, everyone. And those of you who are facing, remember that justice card that I was talking about last time? Those of you who are facing those impasses in your life or possibly the things not initially turning out the way you hoped after Mercury comes out of retrograde and squares Saturn, and maybe these things don't turn out the way you want and you haven't seen the positive in the situation yet, look forward to this. Look forward to this manifesting somehow in your life. Gorgeous. Okay, everyone. It's been a very sort of intuitive and very gut-based feely sort of reading this time around. Sometimes I really get that, like a wash in the energy of what's going on rather than speaking from, say, the intellect. Obviously, the mind is super confused right now and is quite overwhelmed. And so only the body and the divine creative womb space and the heart really know what's up right now. And if you're in that place of overwhelm, sometimes I get called upon to clarify these things, but honestly, the mind is the only one that doesn't have a clue in this spread. So honor the feelings that you do have. Give yourself time to heal from them. Thank your conscious mind for being the vehicle that you need to participate in this 3D time-space reality, space-time reality as an individual, a unique person. Thank it for that, but then tell it can rest because you've got so many other resources right now. And the outcome is peaceful resolution, peaceful respite from that anxiety or that fear or that regret that's consuming your mind right now. Gorgeous. And the rising of this divine feminine powerhouse within you, this creative force, and the payoffs that are coming in a very earthly, Midas touch, abundant way. And the having it all. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to use our wonderful, fun, and bubbly victory reward dice to help us celebrate all of this crazy Plutonic, Saturnian, retrograde-y work that we're doing. This Chiron having just come out of Pisces and the sifting through that we're doing to bring up this really powerful, intuitive part of ourselves. We're doing a lot here. This is a lot of processing going on, especially in the face of this. So we're doing great. I'm going to find a fun, bubbly Venus in Gemini way of celebrating all of this great work we're doing. And I'm going to choose one of these dice, closing my eyes. Which dice will it be? Right, everyone, see a movie. Something that makes you feel happy. Something that puts you on the right floor of your building so you can be there when your package arrives. Yeah. And something that maybe gives you the feeling of the thing that you're looking for. Maybe falling in love. Watch a love story, or if you want to find something about Divine Feminine Rising, there's more movies than ever now about Divine Feminine Rising. How cool is that? And yeah, put yourself in the feeling of the idealism of this Knight of Air, or the humor of this Queen of Air, or the sure assuredness and authority of the King of Earth. Like, you've got all these archetypes to choose from that you could see a movie about and put yourself in that place, in the position that you want to be. Feel the way that the person you want to be might feel. And then one day you'll wake up and you'll be that person. That's what divine creativity is about. Yay! What a magical, magical spread. And what a wonderful conclusion to this reading. Gorgeous. Wow, I'm still, again, I'm very awash in the energy. I'm so appreciative of this much divine feminine beauty coming forth just before the full moon that is so meaningful for myself and my little familiar in our own divine feminine dance that we're doing with the universe. It's so magical. Yes, please go out there, be good to yourself, exercise that self-care in like the Aphrodite and the Una card we're talking about. Make sure that you take care of this part of yourself that's still a little shaky or overwhelmed or wounded, but also know that you are looking forward to becoming super empowered. You are the main character in your own movie. You are the protagonist in an amazing myth that you are helping to write and co-create with the universe itself, with eternity. And this makes you incredibly special, and this makes it, the most special time to be on Earth because of all these trials and all of this deep stuff that's happening to all of us right now. I'm incredibly honored to be on Earth with all of you, and I hope you go out there, see a movie, practice some self-care, stay shiny, and I will see you in the next reading on the 1st of May.